Great stuff. How is everyone today? Are we all good? Yeah, good. So this one's inspired by, I read a little article in the Independent, I think it was a few days ago actually. I planned the class and then I saw this and it tied in beautifully. And the headline was, it was a little article, "We don't need faith to feel festive." So it's talking about Christmas and the importance of Christmas and rituals, regardless of whether you follow a belief or not. And I'll just read you a little bit. So the sociologist Emile Durkheim used the term collective effervescence, I love that phrase, collective effervescence, to describe the positive mood we feel when we take part in social activities that bring collective joy and make us feel part of a bigger community. We see this collective effervescence at Christmas time. Research has shown that the spirit of Christmas manifests as a multitude of positive feelings and behaviours that are experienced collectively, including greater altruism, goodwill, and generosity. This happens to such an extent that some have argued that Christmas cheer could be an emotion in its own right. The popular adage that the best part of going out is getting ready recognises that rituals are important in their own right. Routines and rituals offer structure and predictability in our lives. This year, many people put their Christmas decorations earlier than usual to try and lift the general mood. There's evidence that this will work, as research shows that Christmas rituals can play a part in creating a sense of well-being. They evoke memories of other times in our lives when we've celebrated in the same way. Festivities often highlight the things we have to be grateful for, and this gratitude can also increase our sense of well-being. And even if we can't be with loved ones, spending time catching up on the phone or online can help to boost our mood. Just reminiscing over past happy memories can make us feel happier. So go ahead and put up that Christmas tree. Even if there won't be as many people gathering around it this year, it still promises to make you feel happier. I love that. And I am going to adopt that phrase, collective effervescence, and use it as often as I can. So let's see if we can create our own collective effervescence with our little ritual of yoga today. And it's going to be one based on gratitude. So we're going to work on opening across the chest and into the heart area. So we'll start by lying down, get yourself nice and comfortable. So just aligning your head, your neck and your spine into a nice straight line. We'll keep the feet on the floor if that's okay with you today. So you might want to walk your feet wide apart and just rest your knees together. We'll just let the arms come to a comfortable place. I always feel I've got to kind of do a little bit of movement when I come to lie myself down there initially. So just get yourself comfortable. I'm just going to come up to a seated position because I'm going to start with a little guided meditation. So you just take your time to get yourself into a comfortable place there, beginning to take a few deep breaths. Now, maybe during this time when so much has been unpredictable this year, the predictability of rituals and routines have been even more important. Perhaps that yoga routine, that meeting and coming together collectively has helped you as much as it's helped me. So as you begin to let your chest and your belly rise and fall with each incoming and outgoing breath. So maybe letting your eyes softly close there. And just forgetting the morning that you've just had, the week that you've just had. So you can really focus on the here and the now. Softening with every exhale. Letting go of any tension, just making sure that your face, your shoulders, area around your chest is open and relaxed. So the article was saying how Christmas can evoke a sense of gratitude in many of us. And it might seem on the one hand that this year there's not that much to be grateful for. So maybe we just need to think a little bit more deeply now. So you might choose to keep the arms down alongside you, or you might want to rest one hand on your heart or both hands on your heart. As you just begin to settle your attention and awareness now to that area around your heart. Yoga, it's called Anahata. And it's associated with a beautiful emerald green colour, not red, interestingly, beautiful emerald green colour. So you might want to visualise that beautiful colour emanating from your heart. And just begin to focus on some feelings of love, compassion, empathy. All of those wonderful positive feelings emanate from that place within us. And let's start our practice this morning with your attention on your heart centre, just bringing to mind something, someone that you're grateful for. Might be someone who's helped you. Might be something that's made you feel better. So as you continue just with that easy, relaxed breathing, just extend that feeling of gratitude to simply being here this morning, having the time to share this collective effervescence of a yoga practice with one another. Grateful for the beautiful scenery that surrounds us locally that many of us have enjoyed this year. Might be someone who has helped to nourish you in your life, and grace to bless you with their presence. And just allow this feeling of gratitude now just to emanate from a place around your heart, almost emanating outwards now. Expanding outwards to fill your chest, your arms, your hands. With each inhale, that sense of gratitude increasing. And trying to keep that in mind throughout our practice this morning. So very gently, we'll bring both hands to rest on your heart centre. If you've not already done so, just let the elbows drop down up to the side of the body. Let's start the beautiful, it's called Breath of Gratitude. So as you inhale, we'll take the arms out into a lovely wide V shape. So kind of reaching up and back on the diagonal, the back of the hands might find the floor behind you. And as you exhale, we'll bring one hand on top of the other back down towards your heart, Anahata. So inhaling, opening up, spreading the fingers nice and wide, arms out that lovely wide V shape. And then exhale. So you might, if you're super clever, just change the hand that's on top as you bring the hands to the heart. Let's do a couple more of those. So lovely one to open up. So reaching the arms out as wide as you can, beginning to open up that area across the chest. So let's make this the last one. Big breath in, keeping the ribcage nice and soft, and bringing the hands to rest gently on the heart there. So this time we'll take the arms out and hold them in that diagonal. So you can keep the arms reaching out on the diagonal, or some of you might want to bring the hands above your head and maybe press one hand on top of the other so your elbows can soften. Or separate the knees, just point them up towards the ceiling, feet nice and wide. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's tip the knees over to the right, rolling across the back of the head so we look to the left. The knees to the right, gaze to the left if that feels comfortable. And just take our first exploratory twist this morning, seeing how that feels, keeping it nice and gentle so the feet are wide. Lovely, so let's roll the head back to centre. Just rolling across the backs of your feet, we bring the knees back to centre. And then as you drop the knees to the left, we roll the head to the right. So we're trying to keep the chest more or less square to the ceiling there. So we're still keeping that lovely openness across the heart. Lovely. Let's just tune in with the breath now as we move through that twist sequence. So inhaling back through centre, exhaling over to the right. You might start to push your hips forwards a little bit, same direction of the knees. So just using your breath now as that guide for how fast or slow you want to make this morning. I'm rolling almost across the back of my heels there, so my toes are lifted a little bit as I pitch my knees from side to side, but That's just kind of a personal thing that goes on with my feet. It feels quite nice. So I'm scooching my hips in the same direction of my knees, just getting a little bit more movement in that twist. So my shoulder blade lifts a little bit as I do that. So don't worry about anchoring the shoulder blades down if you're pushing the hips forwards. Let's do one more. Little drop over to the right, maybe a scooch of the hips. And then one more over to the left. Oh, that's nice. This morning we'll come back to center and just walk the feet hip width apart. And we'll bring the arms down alongside you. So we're going to do a little shoulder bridge flow here just to warm up through the backs of the legs before we come up to seated. So we'll reach both arms all the way back above the head, upper arms alongside the ears this time. If that doesn't work for you, just keep the hands down alongside you. And then push the hips up towards the ceiling, pressing into the base of the big toe. It's coming up to that area between your shoulder blades. Lovely. Blossoming the heart towards your chin. And then rolling the spine down. Keep lengthening the arms back so we're getting as much stretch through the side of the body as we can. And then we'll hug the knees in towards your chest, one hand on each knee. And if you want, pick up your head and shoulders and bring your nose towards your knees. So we're stretching out through the upper and the lower back. Keep the knees where they are, but bring your head and your shoulders back down. Hold on around the backs of the legs and extend the legs up towards the ceiling, a little opening stretch for the hamstrings. Have a little point and flex there. Stretching through the front and the back of the feet and the legs. And then we'll bring the feet back down to the floor, hip width apart. Lovely, heels close to the bottom. Beautiful, reach both arms all the way back. Spread the fingers, upper arms alongside the ears. Push the hips up towards the ceiling. Little squeeze at the bottom as you come up, maybe just between the shoulder blades. And then as you ripple the spine back down, imagine someone is gently pulling your fingers back behind you so you're lengthening through the sides of the body. Give those knees a hug as you bring them in towards your chest. And if you're lifting your head and your shoulders, we slide the shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. Lower the head, lower the shoulders. And holding on around the backs of the legs, last time to take the legs up towards the ceiling. And again, little point and flex. Beautiful. And then we'll just bend the knees, so we'll drop the heels down towards your bottom. Now I'm going to rock my way up to seated, but you can always just roll onto one side as we come up to seated. Sitting in a cross-legged position if that's comfortable. If that's not, then just stretch the legs out in front of you. Lovely. So getting a nice tall spine there. Beautiful. One hand and then the other on the heart, just as we did lying down. Drop the shoulders and bring your chin towards your chest. So we're finding a little stretch through the back of the neck. Ready for that gratitude breath. So as we inhale, take the arms up on a nice wide V. You can start to lift the chin, maybe coming into a very gentle back bend. And as you exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest. Try to keep the body upright, just drop the chin down. So a couple more. Inhaling, reaching the arms up on the diagonal. So you might again just be lifting and opening through the heart. And then chin coming to chest. One hand and then the other to your heart. We'll do that just once more. Nice big breath in, reaching the arms up on the diagonal. And then coming all the way down to the heart. Lovely. Let's take the arms all the way up this time. And then bringing the upper arms alongside the ears, we're going to interlace the hands and push the palms up towards the ceiling. You might need to drop your head to bring your hands just to cut the back of your head there. And then we'll lift the chin and draw the elbows apart. So if that's a little bit too much, you can always bring your fingertips to your temple there. Take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, hug your belly button to your spine and round the back. We're bringing the elbows towards one another. Little C shape through the spine. Inhale. So you might drop the head into the hands as you widen the elbows. Chin might lift a little bit. And then exhale. So we're getting a nice stretch out through the upper back. Let's do that twice more. So you can make that movement as kind of big and expansive as your upper back and your neck feel comfortable. But because we're supporting the head, we're keeping the neck nice and safe there. Lovely. So this time we'll lift the chin, keep the elbows nice and wide. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a little twist to the right, trying to keep the elbows nice and wide. Lovely. Inhale, come back through center. And as you exhale, let's take a little twist to the left. So chin stays level with the floor. Lovely. All the way back through center. Let's do one more twist to the right. And this time we'll separate the arms. So bringing the left hand onto your shin or your thigh. And just other hand behind you. You might look over that back shoulder, you might just look to the side of the room there, whatever feels comfortable. And really try and roll that back shoulder open. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Bring the hands behind the head, interlace them. Nice breath in, elbows wide. Exhale over to the left this time. And again, we'll split the arms, right hand coming to your knee or your thigh, other hand just behind you. So you just get the sense of propping yourself forwards and rolling that shoulder back. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back through center. If you want to swap your legs over, give them a bit of a shake, feel free. And we'll come to a little side stretch. So right hand planting down and left arm reaching all the way up and over. So we're going to get a nice stretch for the back now. So with the palm down towards the floor, that left arm, we're going to drop the shoulder and slice it forwards. Lovely. And then we'll lead with the thumb and bring it all the way back and really try and open through the top armpit there. So dropping the shoulder, reaching forwards, nice stretch out through the upper back. And then leading with the thumb. So you make that movement as big or as small as you like. Let's do that a couple more times. Oh, that feels delicious. My Joe Wicks workouts are going well, but boy, can I feel it. Woo-hoo! Let's do this last one. Lovely. So drawing the thumb back, you're going to beam that chest forwards or even try and open it up towards the ceiling there. Pushing into that supporting hand a little bit so we're not collapsing in the waist. Beautiful. Let's come all the way back up through center. And then we'll just change sides. So this time left hand, so spread the fingers nice and wide. And we'll reach the right arm overhead. So fingers spread, palm down. So this time it's that right arm we drop. So we slice the arm forwards, lovely. And then arc it all the way up and back. So the thumb leads, and that's where we start to turn the chest. Beautiful. So inhaling, you're opening the chest. And exhaling, you're dropping the shoulder. Lovely. We'll do that one more time. Oh, that feels nice this morning. Beautiful. Always feels nice, doesn't it? So let's take that arm all the way up. And again, just get the sense of pressing into that supporting hand. So you're lifting through the underneath waist. Nice curve through the side of the body. Beautiful. Both arms reaching up. I'm going to bring my hands down in front of me and just roll over my ankles to come to all fours, but making your way onto all fours by whatever way or means feels comfortable for you. So again, hands spread nice and wide. And if your shoulders or your chest feel very tight today, just take your hands a little bit wider apart there. So let's just keep pressing into the hands. So just make sure you're not sinking into your shoulder blades there, but press down into your hands. And let's do a few rounds of a lovely cat-cow. So think about beaming your heart forwards as you inhale, as you dip your belly and lift your tailbone. And then exhale, we stretch that area around the back of the heart as we round up like an angry cat. So inhaling, heart pulling forwards. Try not to throw the head too far back. So we're keeping an integrity through the neck and the upper back. You might want to close your eyes here. So just lengthen and then get that lovely stretch between the shoulder blades. Let's do that just a couple more times. Keep pressing into the hands. So again, we feel that the shoulders are supported even when we inhale. Beautiful. So let's come to a nice tabletop, nice flat back position. So just looking towards the top of your mat. Take the right leg back. It's coming onto the ball of the foot, firm up through the belly. Just make sure you've not lifted the hip and just press the heel away from you. So we're getting a nice stretch out through the back seam of the leg. Lovely. And then we'll roll over the top of the foot and bring that knee down. Other side. So you slide the left leg back. So heel pressing away, hips facing down towards the floor. Beautiful. And then roll through the top of the foot. Let's do that just once more. So stretching out through the heel, pressing into the hands, nice long back. And then roll through the foot. So left leg, sliding back. Beautiful. So we're going to add on this next time. So right leg sliding back. So we're going to hold there. So this is uncomfortable for whatever reason. Just bring the knees back underneath the hips. So opposite arm now. So right leg is back. So left arm, we're going to turn up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to thread the needle, but we keep the right leg extended. So inhale, we take the arm up. So we turn the chest. So we keep the hips square, but we're working more into our upper backs here. Lovely. So last one, inhaling all the way up. and exhaling as you feed the arm through. So take that left arm all the way up, and then we'll bring the hands down and bring the knees back under the hips. Same arm, inhale, take the arm up, turning the chest. And this time as we feed the arm through, we're going to pause in that thread needle. So coming onto the side of the head there, so you might need to shift the weight slightly forwards and just move that right hand away from the face. Press into the underneath arm, just do a little bit of work through the upper back. Option to do the same thing with that right leg, so slide it back behind you just as we did before. An option to lift it a little bit higher than hip height, perhaps toes pointing down towards the floor. Firm up through the belly, keep pressing into that underneath arm. And then we'll bring the right foot to the floor, slide both knees back underneath you. Press into that right hand and we'll take the left arm all the way up towards the ceiling. One last opening, and then bring the hands down. So just rearranging yourself, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. This time it's the left leg that slides back and it's the right arm that lifts. So we take a nice breath in to open the chest and exhale to feed the arm through. So you might not perhaps go quite so far because we're keeping our hips still. So we're really getting into the upper back. Lovely. So we're just going to do one more like that. So turning the chest and raising the arm as you inhale. Beautiful. Feeding the arm underneath as you exhale. Lovely. Let's take the arm up. And as you bring the hand back under the shoulder, we'll slide that knee back underneath your hip. Same arm, so right arm lifts again, ready to hold this time. So feeding the arm through. So I like to kind of shift my weight forwards as I settle myself down, so it helps with balance. Pressing into the underneath arm, just taking the left hand a little further away from you. Option again to slide the right leg back, left leg back behind you, and then lift that left leg. So we've got the right arm underneath and the left leg lifting, firming up through the belly. Beautiful. And then we'll bring that foot back down to the floor, slide the knee back under the hip. And just press into that left hand so you can take the right arm all the way up. Beautiful. Then bring both hands down, take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, slide your hips back towards your heels and just prop yourself up on your elbows and give your wrists a little bit of a twirl there. So it's quite heavy on the wrist, that one. Beautiful. And then settle your forehead down toward the floor. You might just rest your palms and your elbows on the floor, or you might come up onto your fingertips so your palms and your elbows are lifted. Giving a nice sense of space and length through the sides and the back of the body. Lovely. And then we'll flatten the palms and draw our way back onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees underneath your hips. So this is quite loading in the shoulders here. So be really mindful of how big or small you choose to make this movement. So we're going to slide the right leg back behind you and then lifting it just level with the hip. We'll bend the knee and point the toes up towards the ceiling. So try and imagine that that knee is in line with your hip. Beautiful. You're going to shift the weight forwards and prop your chest or your heart forwards, nose coming forwards of your fingertips, toes then pointing up towards the ceiling. So make sure the elbows haven't flared out, keep them tucked in. Press into the hands, come back onto fours, lovely. And then knee coming to chest and nose coming towards knee. So really round up through the back, lovely. So as we inhale, take the toes up towards the ceiling. There might be a little arch at the back. Exhale as you shift the weight forward. So it might be a little dip as you hug the elbows in. Inhale as you straighten the arms. And exhale as you bring that knee to your chest, nose to knee, lovely. Inhale, toes lift, gaze lifts. Look forwards as you exhale. So you're tipping yourself forwards, nose forwards of fingertips. Inhale. And exhale. Let's see if we do that just once more. So great one to build strength in the upper back. Inhale, lovely, toes lift. Exhale, so imagine those elbows are just squeezing in towards your rib cage. Inhale as you push up. And exhale, nose to knee, lovely. So extend that right leg straight back behind you now, level with the hip, toes down. And if you wish, extend opposite arm, so left arm. Beautiful. If you want a little bit of a challenge, arm and leg come out the diagonal, firm up through the belly. Lovely. Bring the arm and the leg forwards and back. And then come back onto all fours. Give the wrist a little shake if you need to. It's a bit heavy on the wrist, that one. So we know what's coming. So really try and keep the elbows from pointing out to the side. So it might just be a tiny, tiny dip as you take the left leg back. So we lift the leg without dropping the belly. So just make sure you're firm through your core. As you bend the knee, point the toes up towards the ceiling. Lovely. So we shift the weight slightly forwards, elbows squeeze in as you dip yourself down. Lovely. And then we press the floor away. It's called a scorpion. And the knee coming to chest, nose coming to knee. So we round them back. Inhaling, toes lift. Maybe the chin lifts a little. Exhale as you shift forwards and down. Lovely. Inhale, push the floor away. And exhale, rounding up. Let's do that twice more. So if you need to have a little rest, take a child pose or just circle out through the wrists, feel free. It is strong across the upper back. But as well as stretching the heart, we want to build up some strength. Beautiful. Last one. So tipping forward, so I keep the gaze forwards as my nose comes down forwards on my fingertips, nearly got the floor there. And then nose to knee. Let's extend that left leg all the way back behind you, hip height. You can always bring the toes to the floor. And if you want, it's the right arm that lifts. So upper arm alongside the ear. We can take it out in the diagonal if you want. Ooh, a little bit challenging on balance. Beautiful. And then forwards and back, bringing the hands and the knee down. Let's come back into that child pose. And again, you might just want a little twirl through the wrists there. Lovely. If you're having a little twirl of the wrist, when you've finished just moving, bring both arms out in front of you. Arms nice and long. So we're going to build up from there and come all the way down onto our belly. So as you inhale, we'll come onto fours. And this time as you exhale, shift the weight forwards and all the way down. Same thing with the elbows. Elbows hug in. Lovely. Then we just pick up one leg and slide it back. Do the same with the other, so you've opened up through the hips. And then sliding the elbows underneath your shoulders will come into Sphinx pose. So elbows underneath the shoulders, palms and forearms flat and parallel. And just press down into your elbows, gently into your palms. So you feel you're lifting the sternum forwards, breastbone coming forwards. Beautiful. Keep that gentle downward pressure through the arms as you drop your chin to your chest. And just roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. Keep pressing down with your elbows. Chin rolls to chest. And then over to the other side. So left ear to left shoulder. Lovely. Chin coming down towards your chest. And then lifting the chin parallel to the floor in that beautiful Sphinx pose. Try and relax your bottom. Make sure you're not clenching the buttocks. Lovely. So heart beaming forwards. Option to stay there this morning. Or without the elbows flaring out to the side, we begin to peel the forearms off the floor, coming into seal pose. So the arms aren't locked out. There's a little softness in my elbows. My elbows aren't flared out. They're squeezing towards one another. So forearms still parallel. Beautiful. And then we'll take the elbows nice and wide. Rest your head on your hands. Point both feet up towards the ceiling. And just have a little windscreen wiper of the legs from side to side there. Lovely. And then extending the legs, pushing back onto all fours. And this time we'll make our way to a downward dog this morning. If you want to stay on all fours, feel free. We'll tuck the toes under. And when you're ready, push the hips all the way up and back into a downward dog. Just make sure you can see me there. Just start to press out through the feet. We've not done a huge amount with the hamstrings. So have a little walk, a nice squidgy walk there, foot to foot. Opening up through the back of the legs. Beautiful. You might start to add a little twist, so having a peep underneath one armpit and then the other. And then we'll bring the big toes and the ankles together. See if you can get a little bit more height through the hips and push the hips all the way up and back. And we'll take the right leg up behind you, turning the toes out to the right, keeping the weight even through the hands. And then we'll bring the foot to the floor, big toes and ankles together, other side. So left leg lifted, turning the toes out slightly if you wish, little hip opener, keep pressing the rib cage back towards your thighs, lowering the foot. So bending both knees, look forwards and step or spring your right foot forwards and drop the back knee. If it doesn't quite get there, just give it a hand. Lovely. Let's float the arms up the front as you inhale. And as you exhale, turn the palms up towards the ceiling and draw the arms down. They might be even coming back behind you a little ways. So inhale, arms sweep forwards and up. Arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you really get the sense of opening up through your chest. Lovely. And again. Exhale, a little softness in the elbows. So some of us, the arms might be almost behind the line of the body. So this time we'll sweep the arms up and bring the hands behind you so we can interlace them, or just bring them onto the low back if that's more comfortable. So we'll draw the knuckles down, lift up through the chest. Lovely. And then just begin to tilt the body forwards without collapsing. So press into that front foot, firm up through the belly, lengthen the arms back behind you. Keep all of that going on now as you reach the arms forwards, upper arms fraying the ears, palms facing inwards, strength through the back. Option to pick up your back knee. Keep the hips nice and low, it's strong, so feel free to keep the knee down, lovely. Bringing both hands down to the floor, sliding the hips back and taking that right leg all the way up and back behind you into a three-legged dog. Option to take a downward dog, child pose, or shift the weight forwards and lower that right foot, coming into plank. Lovely. Knees might come down first as you bring your chest down towards the floor, flattening the feet. Press into the hands, take the chest forwards, low cobra. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's try that with the left leg. So again, have a little squidgy walk there, a little sway of the hips, little shake of the head. And then as you bring the big toes and ankles together, we'll bend the knees, take the gaze forwards, and this time it's the left foot, step or spring forwards, dropping that back knee. Lovely, arms come up the front. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. Turning the palms up towards the ceiling, so there's a softness there, but a lovely sense of opening up through the chest. Lovely, inhale. Arms coming forwards. And exhale, so we keep the chest open as we drop the arms back. Lovely, one more time, inhaling up. And exhaling, shoulders sliding down the back. So this time we'll sweep the arms up and then the hands interlace behind you, or just bring the hands onto your low back if that's more comfortable. So lengthen the knuckles down, stretch out through the belly, the chin might lift a little bit. Beautiful, keep all of that going on as we begin to tilt the body forwards. But again, we're not collapsing, we're pressing into that front foot, extending the arms back behind you. And then we'll release the arms alongside your ears. So palms facing inwards, stretching out through the back. Option to pick up the back knee. Keep the hips nice and low. Beautiful. Then we'll land the hands, sliding the hips back as we take the left leg all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Shift the weight forwards to plank as you bring that left foot to the floor. And then lower yourself down. Option to bring your knees down first with control. Lovely. Inhaling into that little cobra. Beautiful. And as you exhale, let's find our way to downward facing dog. Beautiful. So maybe have that little pedal out through the feet. Beautiful. I'm just going to turn myself around the opposite way, so I'm on the right leg to you. So bringing the feet together, let's take the right leg. Oh, I'm turned around the wrong way. We'll take the right leg all the way up and back behind you. Lovely. And then we'll step that right foot forwards between your hands, adjusting your back foot for a warrior two. So heel in, toes out. So lift the chest. And then when you're ready, we'll windmill the arms up. I couldn't work out which leg I was going to be on. So I've got the right foot facing forwards and I'm pressing into the outside edge of that back heel. Lovely. So sink into that front knee. And then the hands coming to the heart. We'll straighten the legs as we take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then looking over that right arm, coming back into that warrior two. Lovely. So let's do that twice more. So bringing the arms all the way up through the midline of the body, reaching up. And then looking over the right fingertips into that warrior. Lovely. One more time. So working through the legs. Beautiful. Let's all find our way into that lovely warrior. So just making sure that right knee is squeezing out towards the little toe edge of your foot. Okay, we're going to bring the hands behind you and interlace them just as we've done. So turn your chest towards the right inner thigh. So from square to the front, we're angling the chest forwards. Begin to dip your chest down towards your inner thigh and the arms might lift a little bit back behind you. Lovely. Push the floor away, come all the way back. Square up through the chest as you release the arms back into that warrior two. Lovely. So hands coming back behind you, interlace your hands, lovely. Turn the chest as you inhale. And as you exhale, we dip forwards towards your inner thigh. Knuckles might lift. Inhale as you lift back up. Exhale, chest square to the front, back into that warrior two. Lovely. Just once more. So hands behind, interlace them. Turn the chest on an inhale. And then we continue to look forward. So I'm looking towards that right big toe as I dip my chest down. Lovely. Inhale as we come all the way up. Exhaling into that warrior. So chest square this time. Turning the palms up towards the ceiling. Glorious warrior. So begin to tilt the little finger edge of your hand up. Dropping your thumbs and maybe lifting the gaze up towards the ceiling. So think about beaming your chest forwards and up, lifting up through the little fingers. Beautiful. Lifting both arms up, turning the toes forwards. Take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, let's come forwards into a nice forward fold this morning. Oh, might be a little softness in the knees there if the hamstrings are feeling tight today. Beautiful. And then turning your right foot out to the right a little ways. Walk the hands over towards your right foot. Maybe a little softening in the knees. So you're draping your body over that right thigh. Taking that little semicircular walk round your left foot, just adjusting the foot, turning it out slightly. And again, a little softness in the knee as you drape your body over that left leg. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Hands coming to hips, bowing up through the belly and rising all the way back up. Take a moment if you've got that head rush. And then turning left foot out this time. Lovely. Sinking into the knees, you come into that warrior two. So we should be on the other leg this time, if my compass points serve me right. Hands coming to heart. Straightening the legs. Inhale as we take the arms up. So really lift out to the hips. And then looking over the left fingertips as you exhale back into that warrior. Lovely. So twice more. Beautiful. So moving quite slowly, but that's really building up strength in the legs. So just make sure you're still pressing down through the little toe edge of that back foot, back leg working. So the inner thigh is rolling in. Beautiful. So let's hold in that warrior two. Ready for that little heart dip. So hands come behind you, interlacing them. So this time we're angling the chest towards the left inner thigh. We take that little dip forwards down, so you're kind of coming down on the diagonal. Arms might lift a little bit. Lovely, coming all the way back up. Squaring the chest off as you sink back down into that warrior. Beautiful, so twice more. We'll reach the arms back behind you, interlacing them. Turn the chest as you inhale. Exhale, take that little dip forwards and down, so the arms might lift. Inhale back to center. Exhale, square off through the chest. Back into that warrior. Beautiful. So strong in the legs as well. Woo, getting warm. Turn the chest. Inhale, last time. Exhale, we take that little dip forwards and down. Beautiful. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, squaring off through the chest, back into that warrior. Ready for that glorious warrior. So turning the palms up. So think about lifting up through your little fingers. Thumbs drop towards the floor behind you. You might lift up through the chest, lift up through the heart. It's quite a strong pose, that one, hey? Beautiful. Keep that front knee bent. And then as you inhale, let's straighten the legs, turning the toes forwards as you reach the arms up. Exhale, back down into that little forward fold. Oh, heart melts forwards. Oh, lovely. Then turn the right foot out slightly as you walk your hands round towards that right foot. Option to keep your left hand just on the foot or just on the floor and take the right arm up towards the ceiling. So a little twist. Left hand on the floor, right arm reaching up. Lovely. Bringing the hands down. Taking again that little semicircular walk over towards the left foot. So this time the right hand stays maybe alongside the foot or rests on your foot. And we take the left arm up. So we're turning the chest, opening the heart to the left. Lovely. Let's bring both hands back down, walking the arms forwards, and then reach one arm forwards, other arm forwards. drop your hips back, weight in the heels, and open up your armpits towards the floor. So we're getting a nice stretch out through the back of the legs. Lovely. And then walking the hands back underneath your shoulders so you can lift your chest. We'll toe heel the feet until they're hip width apart. Soften the knees and roll your way up to standing. Beautiful. Take a moment there, let blood pressure adjust. Let me just adjust the screen so you can see me. Woo, I'm getting a rosy glow on. Beautiful. So feet and knees about hip width apart. Let's take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Upper arms framing the ears, and we'll sit back into a chair pose. So if you don't want your arms raised, you can always just drop them level with the shoulders, or you can bring your hands to your heart. Beautiful. So we're going to rise up, straighten the legs, turning the palms forward. So back of the hands sweep back, and the chest lifts, maybe the chin lifts. Lovely. So reaching the arms forwards and up, taking that chair pose. Lovely. And then sweeping the arms back. Back of the hands leading the way, heart opens. Lovely. Inhaling into that chair pose. And as you exhale, draw the arms back, and maybe this time rise up onto the balls of the feet. Lovely. So drop the heels, inhaling into that chair pose. And exhale as you rise up again. You can rise up onto the balls of the feet. Lovely. Let's do that twice more. So we drop the hips. And really think about lifting up so the arms are drawing back behind you. Beautiful. Last one. Gorgeous. Fantastic. So let's drop the heels, bringing the hands to the heart. And bringing your right foot, I'll turn around to face you, can't get the camera right today. Bringing your right foot into tree pose today. So for some of you, you might just want to bring your heel to rest on the top of your foot. For some of you, you might be bringing your foot up a little higher there. Lovely. We're just fixing the gaze on something that's not going to move. I know you can't see my arms, but as you inhale, let's sweep the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, bring the hands all the way back to the heart. Beautiful. Other way, so wrist drawing down. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll bring the hands back to the heart. Lovely. So a little balance here. So our right foot, keeping the toes turned out, just going to bring that right foot to the floor, toes facing out towards the right, and bring the hands behind you, interlace them. So we're trying to roll that top shoulder back, take the gaze down towards the floor, and just begin to shift the weight into that right foot. So you might just come onto the ball of the back foot. You might be able to lift that back leg, flexing the foot, so in a floating half moon. So you're rolling that top shoulder open, keeping the gaze down, flexing that back foot. Beautiful. And then slowly, slowly step that left foot back to the floor. Release the arms and step the feet together. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. That's a good one, isn't it? So other side. So left foot finding tree. So you might just have your foot propped on the other, or heel resting on your shin, or finding your inner thigh. Hands coming to heart. Lovely. So ready for those two little breaths. Woo, wibbly wobbly this side. Inhale, take the arms up. That's it. Exhale, bring the hands all the way back down to the heart. Lovely. Just pause there for a moment. This side for me is really wobbly today. And then wrists drawing down. Inhaling, arms all the way up. Beautiful. All you guys are balancing far better than me. This could be interesting. Hands to heart. Exhale. You ready for that little half moon? This could be fun. So left foot coming to the floor. We keep the toes turned out to the side. Hands come all the way back behind you. So we're trying to square the chest up towards me. Look down towards that big toe and shift the weight into the left foot. You might just come onto the ball of the back foot, or you might be able to lift the leg. So I'm just trying to lift and turn my chest towards the front. Lovely. Rolling that top shoulder back. Beautiful. And then very gently we land that back foot. Well done, guys. And step the feet hip width apart and give the arms a little shake. Beautiful. So just making sure you've got some runway of the mat behind you. Let's take a nice breath in as you reach the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll come forwards this time into a nice forward fold, heart leading the way. Draw the heart forwards as you come up halfway. And then we'll step ourselves back into a downward facing dog. From downward dog, we'll widen your feet. Drop down onto all fours, pointing the big toes together. And we'll take a child pose. And we'll have a couple of options here. So you can do the more kind of usual one, I guess, of reaching both arms forwards. You can stack one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead on your hands. And that really lets your chest melt down. I really like that to release my shoulders. Or you can prop yourself up on your elbows, bring your hands into prayer position. And as you bring your forehead down, you bring your thumbs towards the back of your head and press your elbows forwards and down on the diagonal. So that's a kind of more active stretch for your heart and your upper back. So whatever your arms are doing, just take a few breaths wherever you've chosen there. Breathing into your heart space. And if, like me, you've just got your thumbs in that prayer position, thumbs towards the back of the head, we'll just lengthen the arms out in front of you. So we'll all just bring the arms out in front of you so we can draw ourselves back up onto all fours, bringing your knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck the toes under and walk your hands back towards your knees. So we're going to lift ourselves up into standing kneeling position. Beautiful. So hands will come round onto your lower back there. We'll roll the shoulders down the back, pressing the hips gently forwards, lifting the chin. So you're coming into a little back bend there called camel. Think about opening up through the front seam of the body. So we're lengthening the belly rather than thinking about it as a back bend. Lovely. Chin coming to chest. Flatten the feet. We'll come down onto all fours and then take the arms forwards on the diagonal. Top corners of the mat. You let your heart melt down between your arms. Send your hips back so your hips are more or less on top of your knees. It's called puppy pose. So chest melting down. Those of you open across your shoulders might have your chin on the floor, looking forwards rather than your forehead, but that's tough on the shoulders. Lovely. So we'll all gently make your way back onto all fours, tucking the toes under, walking your hands back. So we're going to do that again, but with an add-on if your back feels okay this morning. So we'll all start in that regular version, hands resting on the lower back, fingertips pointing to the floor, rolling the shoulders down the back, lengthening through the belly, maybe lifting the chin. So option to stay here or look back towards your right heel. You might need to lean back as you bring your right hand to your right heel and take the left arm up towards the ceiling, turning the gaze up towards the ceiling. So think about pressing the hips forwards, lengthening through the belly. Beautiful. Left hand coming to low back. Right hand to low back. So just finding that little camel. Option to do the other side. So looking towards left heel, left hand to left heel. So you might need to drop the weight back, but then send the hips forwards as you reach the right arm up. Lovely. Right hand coming to low back. Left hand to low back and chin to chest. We'll flatten the feet. Come back down onto all fours. Last one into that puppy pose. So hands reaching to the top corners of your mat. Dropping your forehead or your chin down. Again, sending your hips back and letting your heart melt. Beautiful. And then sliding your hands back underneath your shoulders. Beautiful. We'll walk your hands back towards your knees. So just sitting down on your heels for a moment. Drop the hips to one side and stretch both legs out in front of you. So you might need to slide your buttocks out to the side there, so you're right up on your sit bones. And if you feel that you're sinking in your low back, you can always pop a cushion or a blanket underneath you. Let's gather the arms up towards the ceiling as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, let the body yield forwards over the legs. So hands might wrap around your feet. They might just land on your shins or your thighs. Just maybe let the head have a little shake there. So you just release the neck. As you allow yourself just to yield forwards. And just stretching out the legs after those warrior pose. Strong on the legs there this morning. Lovely. And then we'll walk our way back up to seated. So we'll slide the right heel in towards you, knee up towards the ceiling there. And we've got the option to cross the foot over, just making sure that knee points up towards the ceiling. Or we can lean into that left buttock and hook the foot behind you, ready for a twist. And we're going to do an option with the arms here. Beautiful. So let's circle that right arm all the way up towards the ceiling, bringing the fingertips to the floor behind you. Now you might use your left hand or your left elbow to squeeze that knee in towards your chest. Or if you want a little bit more to open up through your chest, we take that left arm up towards the ceiling and then turning the chest, we hook the elbow on the outside of that right knee. So my palm is facing forwards. That's not going to be for every configuration of shoulder or chest. So feel free to go back to hand or elbow. If you want a little bit more opening through the chest, you're squeezing your elbow against the outer knee. You might find you get a bit more rotation through your spine there. Lovely. Couple more breaths in whatever configuration you found works for your shoulders this morning. And slowly, slowly unravel. And just take the body around the opposite way. So really important, especially if you've had your elbow over that opposite knee, that you just decompress the spine. It's strong, that one, hey? My shoulders, it's not my favorite one for my shoulders. Let's just release the legs and we'll try that on the opposite side. So one side might not feel quite so comfortable doing that version. So I'll see how I go. We'll slide the left heel in, foot can stay there. We can cross it over and we can lean and hook. Just make sure you've got enough space for your bottom there. Lovely. So right hand on knee, and we'll take a big circle with that left arm. So we open the shoulders, open the heart first of all. So you might keep your hand on the knee, you might lean forwards and hook right elbow around the knee. So you're just bringing the body upright again if you need to lean forwards to find that knee with your elbow. And then option to take the right arm up towards the ceiling and we hook the elbow on the outside of the knee. So again, try and make sure that you're sitting upright, you're not leaning forwards. Your shoulders are above your hips there, palm facing forwards. Oh, and I can really feel that rings out through the back and opens up through the chest. So again, that's not going to be for all of our backs or shoulders. Lovely, just a couple more breaths. Beautiful, and then we'll slowly bring the body back through center. Keep the legs as they are. We just turn the chest the opposite way. Oh, that's a hard one, that one, hey? Flipping heck. Oh, let's stretch the legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake or a wiggle. And then we'll come back down to lie on our back. So heels snuggled in towards you. Ease your way down onto your backs. And let's have a lovely full body stretch. I feel I need that after that twist. So straighten the legs out in front of you. Reach both arms back behind you so you get a nice stretch out through the whole body. Beautiful. And then walk the heels back in towards you, but keep the arms extended back behind you, just as we had at the beginning. So we're going to come back to that little bridge flow. So pressing down through the feet, ripple up through the spine, pushing the hips forwards. Think about lengthening the arms back behind you as you stretch the knees forwards. Keep those arms where they are as you lower the hips. Think about stretching your hips towards your heels. Or gather the knees in towards the chest, getting a nice stretch out through the lower back. And maybe lift nose towards knee, so we slide the shoulders down the back away from the ears. Lower the head, lower the shoulders. Both legs extend up towards the ceiling. And again, we can just support around the backs of the legs. This time, let's flex the feet, flatten out through the lower back. Lovely. Heels coming down. Close towards the bottom, feet and knees hip width apart. Let's do that just once more. Arms lengthening back. Opening up through the sides of the body. And then we'll lift the hips. So we're bringing the chest up towards your chin. Lengthening the arms back behind you. Imagine someone's gently lengthening the arms back as you lower the hips down. Hips lengthening towards your heels. Beautiful. Last time, knees coming to chest. Giving them a little hug or a squeeze and maybe rounding up into that little ball. Slide the shoulders down the back. Lovely. Lowering the head, lowering the shoulders, holding on around the backs of the legs. Last time to take both legs up towards the ceiling. Little flex of the feet, firming up through the belly so the lower back is imprinting into the floor. And then this time, as you bring your heels down to the floor, you can widen your feet and allow your inner knees to rest against each other. Or take the legs out in front of you with the heels in and the toes out. So as you settle down just for a few moments of relaxation, if you're in a cooler room and you need a blanket, if you've got to dash off, thank you for joining me. My gratitude to you this morning. But if you've got a few moments just to finish the practice together. So take a moment just to get yourself nice and comfortable. If you feel any holding or tension anywhere in the body, then just adjust yourself so that part of the body can relax. Or send your exhale to wherever you feel a little bit tight or tense this morning. And just softly closing the eyes. And once more, just bringing your awareness back down to your breath. Feeling that area around your heart lifting and falling with each breath. Each time you exhale, it's an invitation to let go of tension this morning. Relax your face. Soften your shoulders. Just let your belly be soft and move with your breath. Your arms just gently resting down alongside you with the palms facing up towards the ceiling there. Finish with a little breath-based meditation. Bringing our awareness once more just back into that area across our chest. A centre of loving kindness, empathy, compassion, and gratitude. So the next time you inhale, imagine that breath is drawing all the way up from the right palm, up your right arm, across your chest. As you breathe out, visualize that breath traveling down your left arm, into your palm, and out through your fingertips. So inhaling all the way up through your right arm, across the chest, opening the chest, and then exhaling, leaving the body as it drops down through the left arm, left palm, and the left fingertips. So the breath almost like a beautiful rainbow traveling up through the right arm, lifting the chest as you breathe in, and just allowing the back of the heart to melt into the mat as the breath leaves through the left arm and the left fingertips. So just continuing now. few cycles of that rainbow breath, as it's called. And remembering that that colour associated with our heart is a beautiful, vibrant emerald green. So if you're the kind of person that likes visual imagery, you might imagine that breath travelling up the beautiful, vibrant green hue. And leaving the body. Again, that beautiful sense of gratitude. Inhaling all the way up the right arm, across the chest. Beautiful emerald green of the heart opening. And then the breath leaving through the left arm as you exhale. And so if you're using that rainbow breath, let's make this the last round. Breathing in all the way up the right arm, across the chest, and out through the left arm, the left fingertips. And then we'll bring one hand and then the other to rest on the heart. It really doesn't matter which hand is resting on top. And just as we began the practice, so we'll close our practice again by just reminding ourselves what we're grateful for this morning. Perhaps again, the time we've dedicated to ourselves this morning, showing ourselves a little bit of kindness and love. It might be a person, it might be something, but just holding the essence of that in your heart just for a moment. And then reaching both arms out on the diagonal, bringing the back of the hands to the floor, stretching the legs out so we come into a beautiful body stretch, full body stretch, but the arms out slightly on a V there, so we're getting a lovely sense of space through the heart. Beautiful. Opening up into that space, and then very gently bringing your knees one more time in towards your chest. You might want to have a little rock, or circle of your knees there, whatever feels nice. Lovely. Before bringing your feet down to the floor, just dropping your knees to one side or the other, and then you can join me in a comfortable seated position. Beautiful. So just lifting up and out of your hips, you might just want to bring your fingertips to the floor alongside you so you can really feel some length through the sides of the body there, pushing the floor gently down. Let's take a nice breath in together, lifting the arms all the way up above the head. And as you drop the hands to the heart and the chin to the chest, I'm so grateful for everything you've done this year for me, supporting me in this strange year of yoga, but my gratitude to you guys. My collective effervescence has been fed by you. So namaste, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your practice this morning. Here we go.